Well, hey y'all, welcome to Monday night and Monks Alive. It's great to have you here, and I'm really looking forward to tonight's show because we're going to have a lot of fun, and we're going to talk about something that I think is of interest. At least I was telling Dave earlier that when I did this crazy little video last Friday that was on, if you want to be a YouTuber, I've got 3 words for you. Don't do it. That little video has blown up for me, and a lot of people, it seems like there's a lot of interest around this topic of YouTube channels and what goes into them and strategies to make them work or not work, or what do you want to do with them? And I think for me, that becomes the greatest question is what do you want to do with it? Another thing, this week I was invited to speak to the Rotary Club here in Independence, Kansas. Had a wonderful time with those guys, and I sort of shared, and the guy that invited me asked me to share about hiking, and then he wanted me to share about my military background. But I sort of did a 2-parter, and it was hiking, but then what have I gotten out of hiking? I have a little 2-minute reel. I'm going to show that now, and as soon as it's done, Dave, we will get into our discussion. So sit back, and I hope you enjoy this little 2-minute reel of the places I have seen in the last several months. Well, hey Dave.
Hey there, how y'all doing?
Doing good. It's good to have you here.
Oh, great.
You see Tony's comment?
Yeah, oh my God, Dave, yeah. All right. Hey, Tony.
I enjoyed Tony's last video. He was out doing another trail or another hike before he left Washington, and he said he was going to do that. He was on with me last week. He said he was
Right.
going to do that, so I was looking forward to seeing it.
Yeah.
Then we got Beacon on here, and so thank you guys for being here. Dave, thank you for coming
Oh, no problem.
and
No
joining me on
problem.
this. I put this little video out about YouTube and not doing it as sort of a way of walking into to really knowing why we start these YouTube channels. I think that's the important question. And if we're looking in for it, I mean, I know you've made hundreds of thousands of dollars, right? From YouTube.
Yeah, right.
But seriously, it's if folks come in thinking they're going to make a lot of money, they're probably not. And then I've had a lot of comments on that saying I've started it because I wanted to either have something to look back on, or I did it because I wanted to be part of this community. You mentioned that a lot of people do it because they want to be part of something.
Exactly. Yeah. And I've since we started that really pushing that Facebook group, we've grown like massive sizes. And there's so many people have been at this for 10, 12 years, and they're just now reaching 1K. And
Yeah,
it's kind of hard to tell them what they're doing wrong, but and in most cases they don't think they're doing anything wrong. They think that they're doing exactly what they want to do, because it's they may not have ever started this to make money, but they wanted to be part of something.
yeah,
So,
yeah,
yeah. But as you and I were talking about earlier, you can spend all week uh, making a video, going out and doing the adventure, then come back, do all the editing, and you go, this is sweet. They'll love this. And at the end of the week, it's got 100 views.
yeah, yeah.
And
But and it may be those 100 views loved it,
yeah,
and they did love it.
right.
But like you said, just because I make it doesn't mean that people are going to see it.
Exactly. And as we discussed earlier, how can you make that change? Well, the thing is you can put up all the great videos you want, but if you don't routinely visit other people, comment and like and be part of their videos and stuff, soon you notice how you'll subscribe to someone and they're with you for 3 or 4 weeks, then it's almost like they disappear. It's almost like YouTube takes them right out of your line of sight. And if you don't
Yeah,
specifically go and hunt that person down, it's like they just disappeared. And um, I was telling a channel the other day, what did she say? Oh no, I said, I wonder whatever happened to Tina, was her name. And she's not a camping channel or an outdoor, just tries on clothes. But she is always there. She always has something good to say about every video, you know.
yeah,
And I'm out in the backyard doing something, and I said, I wonder where Tina's at, So I went up and looked, and she put up 3 or 4 videos, and I never seen any, any notifications that she had done anything,
yeah.
So yeah.
Um,
So
yeah, I think when I've started talking to young people, and I'll cozy up to them. They think I'm weird because here's this old man. I don't know if they think I'm trying to hit on them or not, but I'll just sit down beside them,
uh-huh.
and they'll be going through YouTube, and I'll say, now, so how do you pick out what you want to watch?
Right.
And basically what they tell me is that they're just scrolling, and when they see a thumbnail that looks exciting, they'll
Right.
click on it.
And one of the channels today on the Facebook group said the same thing, is a lot of people operate literally on clickbait. If they see a nice fire, they'll click on it. If you
Yep,
hold
yep.
up a fork with a piece of steak on it, they're probably not going to click on it. And I think we're kind of visual people, and I forget who it was, but somebody said a fire is one of those visceral things. It calls for the more calmer moments in the human spirit. You see a nice fire on a cold night, and you just want to stick your feet out and put it up on a rock beside it, and so I
Is
really
that why you do those fire videos?
I love it, man. I mean, it's just like it's those videos really do well. Just you go out and cook something, and you just put it on top of a little pan or something like that, and it's just like 500 people come in and say, "Oh, I can't wait till we can do that and everything like that stuff. But I still say, and like you and I were talking earlier, one of the biggest channels around. I happened to got a chance to talk to him one time not long back, and he told me that the greatest piece of advice that he would give is interaction. Interaction is key. All right, be part of everybody else's videos as much as you want them to be part of yours.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know, and because if
And that's hard to do.
it is hard to do, because you think about it, you know if you have a daily routine, you get up in the morning, you check your email, you check your YouTube, you check your Facebook, and then your comment section says you got 297 comments. Okay, so it's going to take you a
Yeah.
little time to get through that. And
Yeah.
if you're just going to put like and heart, like and heart, like and heart, you can probably go through it pretty quick. But if you take time to sit there and say, comment, hey Bill, thank you so much for stopping in and everything like
Yeah.
that, and you try to answer all those questions, but then it doesn't
But
stop there. Then you
no.
got to go to Bill's channel and watch one of Bill's videos too, because
Yep.
he knows.
Well,
So
that's
he
why,
knows. Yeah.
your Facebook page,
Uh huh.
and there's a lot of new channels that popped up
Oh my
uh,
goodness.
on your Facebook page, and so I went to them, and I sort of have, I'll sort of throw it out here. I have a soft spot for any channel that's under 1,000 subscribers.
Right.
So if they're under 1,000, I'm going to try to support them, and I'm going to
Sure.
try to watch, and I'll turn on, I'll try to watch several videos and try to support them, and I'll come back and watch more. If
Mm-hmm.
they're over 1,000, then and if they're friends, close friends like yours, I'm going
Sure.
to go and watch.
Yeah.
Uh,
And one thing I've tried to tell folks that are on the Facebook side of the line, you don't need my permission to throw your recent video up there. Have at it, man. I mean, there's 719 people up there right now.
yeah,
719 different channels that you
yeah,
can make a connection to. And that is why we're doing that featured channel thing. Can you imagine a channel needing some hours, and you've got
yeah,
350 people watching your 20-minute video? You could close
yep.
that gap in a quick heartbeat,
Real quick, real
real
quick.
quick. Yeah. So.
Yeah. But see, that's you do that so well. You really you give a forum so that folks can go there and build community.
Mhm.
I love the idea. When people comment on mine, I have to respond. I can't just get a thumbs up and a heart.
Right.
I got to talk back. 'Cause,
Yeah.
they've taken time out of their day to watch, and sometimes they have questions, sometimes they just make a comment.
Yeah.
Well, I appreciate it.
It's yeah, I agree with you. And the crazy thing is I've never realized that there are so many channels that are this far away from crossing that line in
Yeah,
subscribers and hours.
yeah,
And what I had one channel, he actually put a special video up, and he said he'd been working on this for years and could never crack 1K. And then finally, 2 days ago, he cracked 1K because of people just like
that's
you.
awesome.
You were one of his new friends, you know.
Oh,
So, and I told him, I said, I'm not doing this for anything. It's other than, you know, um, I made a promise that when I crossed that 1K 4,000 threshold, that I was going to drag as many people along with me as I possibly could. So
yeah, because this is not a competition.
no, it's not.
There
So
is plenty of audience out there.
yeah,
I
yeah.
mean,
And this
YouTube's crazy.
there's stuff to learn, because I've done things like some of the projects that I've done in the shed and everything like that. Um, I would have been trying the same thing over and over and over again. It just wouldn't work. And then I'll tune in to say Billy Bob's shed work, and here he holds up one little thing. And I'm like, oh, you got to be kidding me! If I'd have known about that, you know. But yeah, we're gonna keep doing that featured channel thing every single day. Every day at 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, there'll be a new channel go up, and
That's good.
there is no rhyme or reason to it. I just randomly pick one. Um, today was Craig's Cabin from the UK, and
Yeah.
he was another one that was just this far away. And at the end of this 24-hour cycle, we'll see where he's at.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And
It'll be good.
tomorrow, I'll give you a sneak hint who it'll be. It's a young or a fella from Michigan that loves to do all sorts of outside stuff.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay,
So
good.
I think he is. If he's not over it, he's real close to the line, and
Yeah. Yeah.
and that's who we're trying to hit first. Those
Yeah.
people that are real close to the line. Now, if you're way on back there, don't feel like we're going to leave you alone. Because
Yeah.
we had one channel. He was at 90 something subscribers, and the last few days he climbed all the way to like 120.
That's awesome.
And you're one
That's
of his
awesome.
new friends. You were one of the ones
Yeah.
that.
I saw it. Yeah, I know who you're talking about.
Yeah.
When I saw that, I said, absolutely, I gotta jump on that.
Right.
And,
So,
and he's got good stuff, and that's
he
the whole
does.
thing.
Yeah.
Uh,
He does.
there's good content. It's just YouTube is such a big ocean
It is. Yeah.
that you get. I mean, you're there's. I feel like a guppy, that's sort
Right.
of swimming in a great big school of fish.
What's that saying that Navy used to always say? It's not the size of the ship, it's the motion of the ocean.
Yeah, that's why I went in the army.
Yeah. But to look at the members, the people that are up on the Facebook side of the line, I mean, there's probably, I'd say, 50 different countries.
Yeah.
We even have people from the Ukraine, and there's a couple from Russia. So here's two countries that are fighting each other, but they're up there.
But this way we build bridges, I believe, and it's a way to build bridges. I love to see, and I love to go to their videos. Even most of them are speaking English
Vast
and speak
majority.
English better than my Alabama English is.
Right.
And so, but they also, we'll get to that because that's a great question.
Oh, yeah. That
But
is
yeah,
good.
we got people will the views that they have and the experiences that they have around the world. Tony and I were talking about this last week. Tony said, that he gets to see places that he knows he will never get to.
Yeah. I mean, I've always wanted to see Scotland, but
Yeah.
the reality of things, the chances of me wandering down a path in Scotland and laying down on the trail with a tent is kind of remote, But here, just the other day, in their own unique way of using the English language, crack idea, old man, to use these featured channel things and let me show you one of my favorite trails here outside of Edinburgh, and I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, and then
I love it.
we got a lot of Canadians,
Yeah. A lot of Canadians.
Japanese, Philippines, Thailand, India, which is kind of surprising to me is when I look at my analytics, the top country that I have of people watching is the United States. Number two, would you venture a guess who number two is?
Probably India.
India. Number three is a distant Canada and the UK, a very distant.
Yeah.
But India represents roughly a third of everything that's being seen.
Mine is about 50-50.
Yeah.
And I have, not just India, but I would say Southwest Asia. So, there's India and Pakistan and Bangladesh.
Right. And then you get the ocean countries, the Philippines and
Yep.
South Korea, Guam, all that kind of stuff. But,
yeah.
But what was Becca? What was the craziest question you ever had? Okay, let's see here. My favorite one, even like today, I can go in the shed and I'll have the desire of I found this old piece of wood and I want to make a really big spoon so I can use it for the cast iron cooking outside.
Oh
Okay.
yeah.
Somebody says, how do we know that you didn't go to Walmart, buy a big spoon, and just cut this thing down? Well, didn't you just watch a 14-minute video of me carving on this spoon? You know?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
And why would I do that?
Yeah, why would I
Hey,
want to do that? Yeah.
well, I do want to get to this question is that Bika asked. Let me see. I'm going to get the right words for it. What's the craziest comment you've ever received on your video?
Hmm.
I've been sitting here trying to think.
Craziest video or comment? I don't know. It's just man, there's always somebody that'll, ask some crazy stuff, but a lot of times you're not sure whether they're serious or whether they just can't quite figure out exactly what it is they're trying to, say
Yeah,
to you and
yeah.
stuff like that. I mean, I've had a couple people ask things like, "Can you build me a YouTube channel?" No, I'm
Oh,
not going to
really?
build. No, I'm not going to build you a YouTube channel. Now, I will help you if you build your YouTube channel. You come on up here. We'll shout you out and we'll get you to shake
Yeah,
hands in a virtual sort of way with
yep, yep.
thousands of people. But be still at the trail. Good to see you, man. So,
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Hey, Ken.
hey
Good to
Ken.
see you, brother. I guess. Oh, well, I know, but the thing is, I get this question quite a bit, but I think this person was actually serious. But they were asking me if I'd ever seen Bigfoot when I was up in the Wind River Range. And, I said, no, I didn't. I did see a Bigfoot print.
Right.
I saw a big grizzly print that was out there that sort of got my attention.
Sure. Yeah.
But
Well, it's like last night, or when I was telling you about like last night out there, not far from the house here. I hear something that I don't know whether it's a combination of a dog, a coyote, a wolf, or what, but I had the camera on and I'm like, the hell was that? You know, because it kind of did like a, like,
yeah, yeah,
but I tell you what though, and if you're at this long enough, you're gonna catch weather phenomenon, sounds, they're gonna you're gonna catch your own bloopers. You're gonna have like be cooking a meal over a little grill, and then you're gonna turn around for one moment and the cuff of your pants will grab the handle and throw your beans on the ground. You know,
yep,
and it's up to you
yep.
whether you keep that or not. You know,
It
but
is.
uh
And it would be fun. I thought about collecting some of those. I never do. I just delete them
yeah,
because I'm
yeah,
embarrassed by them. But it would be fun to
it
have
would
to do
be
that.
one channel. It was been a while now, a year or more, but he was talking about bloopers, and he said, "I want to show you one that happened to me." He had his tent set up and everything like that, but one thing he never does is he never stakes it down. He just sets it up and it sits on the ground. Will come up a
Yeah.
nice gust of wind, and next all he's doing is he's sitting there in his lawn chair out in the open, and the tent's gone. He's like, "Oh wow." So, yeah.
Oh my. Oh my. Well, you turned me on to this.
Oh yeah, you like them?
I do. And I'm
Uh,
taking this out. My plan is Connie is going up to Kansas City um, in a couple of days to help our sister-in-law.
mm-hmm.
And while she goes up there, I'm going on the trail because
Yeah,
I feel like I'm going stir crazy.
I understand. I
And
really do. Yeah.
I'm going to take this out with me. And this for those who are just seeing it. This is a trail camera and Dave, he mentioned that really ought to set one up at night
Yeah.
and see
Yeah.
what goes on because I think it was when I was on the Cherokee. No, I was on the Prairie Spirit Trail here in Kansas, and that pack of coyotes came by my tent,
Right.
and there were probably 30. It was a big pack,
Right.
and they were yipping, and coming, and I could hear them coming. And then they must have either smelled me or smelled the tent or saw the tent. They just all went quiet, and they all sort of tiptoed
Yeah.
by my tent on the
Yeah.
trail, and then they get on down the trail and they start yelping again and take off. Uh,
I tell you what, you are going to be astonished at what you see at nighttime. You will be equally astonished at what happens in the daytime when you're looking in another direction and the camera is catching it. And then you get home and you put it in your little SD card and your thing, you're advancing it, and you're like, oh, did you see that snake?
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's
I did that. Let's see. I was out. There's a big lake that's 7 miles from my house. It's called the Elk Elk City Lake Park, and in
right.
this huge lake. It's Corps of Engineer project, big lake.
Uh-huh.
And I was there flying the drone because I don't know if they are looking for the dead fish that wash up on the shore, but I mean that is the buzzards own
Yeah,
the dam. They fly all over that dam.
right.
That's that for that lake. So I'm flying along the coast with my drone, and I really was just wanting to see what the buzzards, and watch how they fly because as ugly as they are, they sure just fly beautifully.
Right.
And so I get home and I put it in and I'm editing it and I'm pulling that out, and out of the buzzards are flying in a circle up here,
Uh-huh.
and from the tree line, here comes this bird, and it's as big as these buzzards, and all of a sudden the sun catches it, and it's that white hood, and it's a bald eagle. And this
Right.
bald eagle
Yeah.
swings around and then comes back in, and back into the camera.
Right.
I didn't know it. I didn't catch it until I
Right.
got home and
Yeah.
started looking at it.
It's the human eye is not fast enough to catch everything around it, and we did a night vision one, I guess a couple months ago more now, but we had things running, and there's this little blob of light that appears just below the camera, and it sits there for a brief moment. Then all of a sudden, it goes out and shoots straight up. You
Huh.
know, I said there is no bird that does that. There's
Yep.
nothing you do that. That was one thing, and then maybe 2 minutes later, here was this vapor that came out of the bottom corner, slowly rises, and then
Huh.
and this is like 2 in the morning, and
Huh.
like 100 people commented, "Oh, you got vapors, man. What do you mean I got vapors?" You know, and then there was a bunch of people that tried to explain, what could have done that, and stuff like that. But who knows? And
Who
but
knows?
I'll say this: if you got a trail camera and you put it whether the back of the tent, the front of the tent, or on a tree looking at the tent, and then it's now 2 o'clock in the morning and you're snoozing away. Okay, nothing bad happens to you, but then when you get home and then you start clicking through the freeze frames, and you look, dang, that was right outside my tent. So,
Yeah.
and you know what?
Oh,
It's even at your house. I guarantee you, right now, if you went out in the backyard and strapped it to the back of the house and just had it looking out, you might be
yeah.
surprised at what happens on your own turf.
I bet
So,
so.
yep,
I bet so. And I bet the deer come through here a lot, and of course possums and raccoons, and who knows
sure,
what it
yeah. We had a possum,
is.
mine
Sandy,
caught.
it's great stuff.
Not good. Really. Well, the thing about it is Sandy, is that, like we're saying, the human eye doesn't catch it. And here you go unmolested upon your merry hike or your merry camp or whatever else, or sitting in your backyard. But then when you remove the SD card and you see yourself, you're sitting there looking at Dave Collier camping on your phone, and then you see what it was that ran behind you, you're like, dang.
It's high adventure.
Yeah. But,
Yeah, I love it.
but yeah, I think that
Uh,
people that are wanting to get into this, and I mean, if money is your ultimate goal, you're in for a long, long road. Um,
Yeah.
and even if you have top of the line videos and stuff like that, if you're not spending any time visiting other people, most people are never going to find you.
That's
That's
right.
yeah.
That's right.
And
And if they do, I mean, you can do some things. My guy that does my thumbnails, he does a great job, and
sure,
I get quite a few. I think, in because you can look in the YouTube studio
right,
and how you've gotten your views
right.
and browse. My views have gone now probably 60-70%
Right.
are now browse, which means, like I was talking about, the young person that's sitting there scrolling through the things and see something they like and they hit on it,
They hit on it,
and
you
that's
know.
browse, and that's usually a thumbnail and or a title.
Right. And then if you look further into the analytics, sometimes you see where somebody browsed into it and they might have spent like 9 seconds there,
Oh
or
yeah,
here
yeah,
you have a 14-minute video, but the average view time is 38 seconds,
yep, yeah.
so it's,
Yeah, and if you, I watch these things from TubeBuddy and vidIQ and Think Media, and all these different ones that tell you
uh-huh,
all these strategies of things that you got to do.
right,
And I tried to chase that gold ring, and I have just stopped because it was taking me away from doing what I love to do.
right,
And the reason for my channel is, well, yeah, to share the content,
right.
but it's really to build community. And
True.
so when people comment, we're starting to build a relationship.
Exactly.
And
Uh-huh.
my
How
my
many
guy that the
how
guy
many
that does the
times
thumbnail.
oh, I'm sorry, go ahead. Yeah.
Oh, I was just going to say, the guy that does the thumbnail and the guy that does my optimization.
Sure.
You know,
Yeah.
they do a great job, and I appreciate their work, and I recommend them. They are professionals.
Right. Yeah.
But I'm not really looking for blowing up. I mean, if it
Yeah.
happens, it's great. But
Sure.
I
If
like to
it's
have them there because I like to give to them too.
Mhm. how
And
many how many times have you heard where they'll say if you do a certain thing, YouTube will not push your content, or don't do this, that okay. How many times have you ever heard that if you get too many new subscribers in one day, they'll take them away from you? Okay. I don't know whether that's true or not, but I kind of would like to think that it's probably not, because even if I were to get 16 new subscribers, but if I went on to each of those 16 new subscribers, watched 2 or 3 videos, liked, commented, shared, and I've met all the commitments that are required to add a new subscriber, why would
yeah,
they take it away from you? I don't know whether that's true or not. You
I don't
know,
think it is.
I don't
I
think
mean,
it is either.
AB, I don't think it is. I've never seen anything on YouTube saying that. The only thing I have ever seen, and actually I got a notice the other day on one of my videos. And then I found out that a guy who was trying to sell me his
Mm-hmm.
marketing,
Yeah.
um,
Yeah.
he had taken my video, and there was a lot of bots. And
Right.
so YouTube sent me a note, and they said, this one particular video, you're going to see your viewer count drop
Big time. Yeah.
because we have detected that there was bots.
Right. I
And that, I don't do that. And
Mine, I have seen that too. I'll go to bed, take one last look at any given video, and it'll be up at a certain number, and then the next morning it will have dropped by 30 or 40, and I have been told by YouTube that it's bots. That
yeah,
elevate things, and before we really crossed, like, say, 1,000. This was always happening every single morning. You'd go to bed and you'd be, say, at 900 subscribers. You wake up, you'd be at 855. Okay, and you're like, okay, is that many people hate what we're doing? You know,
I
I don't
think
know.
I do think that that people, some of these people will come in and they will subscribe
Right. but won't watch
because they,
anything.
and they're
Yeah,
not watching anything. They're just
right.
going away. And I
Yeah,
think that's where I see the big swings. But
stop.
that has settled down.
It
I
has.
don't get that
Usually,
anymore.
I don't lose anything. Once I climbed a certain number, it never goes back down. But the only other weird thing I've noticed is for 3 straight weeks, I'll be on like a climb. I'll get like 10 new subscribers a day for 3 straight weeks. Just boom. And then right
Yep.
at the end of that third week, it stops. Nothing happens for like 3 days. Then all of a sudden,
Yep.
boom,
Yep.
it
Yep.
goes right off again. So
Same thing. I hit these plateaus,
uh-huh.
and it seems like it's just before I cross a milestone. It may
Yeah,
be just before I go, I mean, at 99, before I hit
yeah.
that next 100, or at 50 or 49, just before I hit that 50.
I agree
And
with you. Yeah,
yeah,
whether it's you're crossing 1,000, 2,000, or 3,000, just prior to each of those little humps, you
yep,
know,
yep,
and you'll see like a dozen different comments. Hey, new to the channel, I really like watching that particular thing and stuff like. It. And you'll count like, okay, I've seen 13 different people say that. Hey, new to your channel, but you're still stuck at this number.
yep, yep, yep.
So like, but I don't even let that kind of stuff bother me because it catches itself up and
It does,
but
and anymore, I used to stress out. So now I don't look at the analytics that much
I don't
anymore.
either. Now I think we're having more fun now than we were, and I really
Yeah,
think that when we cross off of the YouTube platform and head over onto the Facebook side of the things, that's when we can really kind of get, uh, I think, deeper into each other's channels,
yeah, I agree.
and because now you're starting to talk about all sorts of things. Um, there's people up there that are, hey, today's my birthday. Well, happy 65th birthday. All right, man. All right. Hey, I lost my Aunt Sarah today. I'm so sorry. You're hearing the personal stuff, you know,
Yeah.
stuff like that. But just prior to coming on with you here an hour or so ago, I was on there, and I mean, there were people talking right back and forth. Hey, just subbed you, Mike. Hey, just subbed you, Jim. Just, bing,
I
bing,
love it.
bing. And there was like 3 or 4 people talking. I wonder who he's going to pick for the featured channel tomorrow, and
Oh, that's fun.
uh, and there really is no rhyme or reason. Like I said, I am trying to make it where people that I think are real close to a goal, that final, I'm trying to get them first.
Yeah, and
And
that's good.
I keep telling everybody that when it's your turn, you're going to want maximum participation. So when you
So
see
you need to give.
John's channel up, give to him, man. And
Yeah.
when you go out to eat dinner, turn your computer on back in the study, and just watch one of John's playlists.
Yep. Yep.
Let it run. And because
Well, I mean, there are a couple of things. One is that you do give a forum,
uh,
and so people do come on there. I don't understand Facebook groups that shut you down from sharing your channel.
right,
That doesn't make sense to me.
it doesn't. It doesn't. One thing you probably don't know is I am the admin for an extremely large USMC veterans group. There's almost 10,000 of us, and I'm the
Oh, cool.
sole admin of it. And I actually have Marine Corps commands that have come up on here wanting to be part of it, you know, to make announcements and stuff like that. And we've had some of the very top brass actually pop through there, and we drive a hard line on them. You're not using profanity. We're not talking
Yep.
politics. You're not. If this was Camp Lejeune, Second Marine Division, you're not going to sit there. You're going to vote for my man, or I'm a punt. No, you're not. You're not going to say anything like that.
Yep.
You're not going to have girly pictures hanging in the work sections. That
Yep.
group
Yep.
it's run just like a government site, and if you ever go into the USMC's headquarters channel thing, on the bottom of it, it'll say vocabulary driven content. In other words, they're looking for anybody putting some crazy mess, and bleep, there you go. You know, you're
Oh,
gone. You know, so
yeah, yeah,
so.
yeah,
But we
yeah.
got almost 10,000 members over there, and
That's awesome.
it's that right there takes up a lot of time. You know, of my day doing that, but it's but it's cool. You know, because I mean, we got Marine veterans and active duty and everything. We got people that I want to say one of the oldest ones is probably just after World War II, Korean War era. You know, so if you were wearing the uniform of a U.S. Marine and it was 1950, you've got some age on you.
Oh yeah,
Yeah. So, but
yeah,
yeah, but I'm hoping that the YouTube, well, not YouTube, but the Facebook groups um, will really help us, because what me and Jamie Lawson, Lower Michigan, we've kind of
yeah.
teamed the two groups up. Okay, he is a co-admin on mine, and I'm a co-admin on his. And
Okay,
when he's not around, I try to look over all of his stuff and my stuff, and
yeah.
he'll do the same thing for mine. If I'm outside doing whatever, and he gets a notification that we got 10 new members, he'll throw up there, "Hey, this is Jamie, you know, your admin, and welcome to Dave Collier Camping," you know. So,
Oh, that's cool.
and we have found that by doing that, we've been able to help a bunch of folks and stuff like that, because you know, I
Yeah,
think we all realize that you know, if your dream is to get a check in the mail or deposit in your account of $3,500 every month, uh, maybe one day,
someday maybe. Yeah,
maybe, but it's
but you
not going to
know,
happen. It's not going to happen tonight, you know. So
and I guess that's a question I've got for you: is if you could summarize why you do YouTube in a couple of sentences,
I
what would you
think
say?
I would say, when I first started out, the allure of being able to operate my own thing and maybe make some money and get some products and stuff like that to test out and stuff like that was a big draw. Then secondly, I started finding out that I'm not the only crazy nut that likes to lay on the ground in a tent when it's raining,
Yeah,
you know.
yeah,
And then I started to realize the third thing, and this was really big, I think. And a lot of people looked at me like, "You okay? All right." Think of your YouTube channel as the neighbor, your house. All right, there's 40 houses that way and 40 houses that way, and across the street, not one single person out there is just like you. Okay,
that's
he or
right.
she's going to have a different job. He or she's going to have a
Yeah,
different way of looking at things, have a different set of hobbies and skills. So if you're a hiker or a camper, why don't you want that lady over there that her passion is making quilts? Because she could be just as good a friend to you as the guy
well,
that's
absolutely.
hiking the Appalachian Trail, you know?
Yeah.
Um,
Well, for instance, Sandy, who's on here right now, if you go to Big Mama Sandy Moore's channel,
uh-huh.
she does these amazing little books. She creates these diaries and journals, but these things,
They're
they're a work of art. They're
yeah.
intricate. They are amazing.
And
And
I think that's my point, is for me to say to somebody like that, "Hey, I don't want you to be here," because
oh,
why?
yeah,
I mean,
yeah. No, I
this is
love watching her stuff.
yeah.
You know,
Uh-huh.
I'm an old engineer,
Uh-huh.
so I tend to think really linearly.
Sure. Yeah.
My the artistic side of my brain
Uh-huh.
hasn't worked in a long, long time,
Right.
and so when I see her stuff, it just
Mhm.
it sparks all of that, and I love to watch
Mhm.
it.
I
Um,
agree. If I have not checked Sandy's channel out, I will certainly after this. But you know, I think another thing is that there is a degree of loneliness out there, and when people can sit there and connect at these levels, they don't feel lonely anymore. They know that there's a Monk out there, they know there's a Dave out there, and they know that
yeah,
if
yeah,
they put a comment on a thing, you're likely to answer them. Uh, you know, if they do a video, you're likely to come up and say, "Hey, you know." we'll pick on Sandy and say, Sandy, that was exquisite, man. That was beautiful. You're no longer think that you're just wasting your time. You're just, you're sharing what's something near and dear to you. So, cool quest. All right.
Yeah. Talk about a couple. Those two are wonderful.
Yeah, I watched one of
They
their
are.
videos earlier today. I sure did.
Okay. Yeah,
Yeah.
they're great.
I believe
They're
they
a
were
lot
in
of fun.
Michigan. Yeah. Was Michigan, I think. Yeah. Uh,
Probably.
yeah.
I think you guys live in Michigan, I believe. And
Yeah.
then
Well,
they do.
I think the video I was watching, they were in Michigan. I didn't know they were
Well,
from
they just
Michigan.
did this summer they've done, or a few, I
All over the
forgot,
place, huh?
maybe 2 months ago, they did the Pictured Rocks
Mhm. Yeah.
trail.
Yeah. But
And
it's for those of you that don't know, we're Dave Collier Camping is on Facebook, and you're welcome to come on over there. And we're doing a thing called Featured Channel, and for a 24-hour period, we're throwing all of our weight at you, watching your videos to help you cross that next line if your next line is hasn't been crossed. And I know some people say it's rude to ask for a subscriber. Don't feel that way over there. If you want a friend, all you got to do is say, hey, you know.
yeah,
So,
yeah.
and but for 24 hours, when your channel gets picked, you got hundreds of people watching your videos for that period, and
Yeah.
it'll help you.
Well, and I don't know, it wasn't that long ago that YouTube did change their thresholds
Hmm.
from you used to have 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 watch hours within a year, and now it's 500 subscribers and 3,000 watch hours.
But somebody told me that that is only a limited monetization. It's not a full monetization.
I don't know.
I
I
don't know
haven't heard
either.
that.
Yeah, but I
I'll
have
go back
heard,
and research it. I
yeah,
think so.
because I know plenty of people that were in that gap, not quite to the 1,000 and 4,000, but they were beyond the new threshold, but they're still not showing monetization. So,
Well, you do have to. I mean, even when you get past that 1,000 and 4,000, you had to. You
apply
got
for
an
it.
email. You did have to
Right.
go through and say,
Yeah.
yeah.
So either
Um,
we've got a problem with not understanding what YouTube's telling us, or the whole bunch of folks just don't know that there's an extra step or few that you need to
I
take.
think that may be it
Yeah.
because we are. I mean, on your YouTube studio,
Uh-huh.
if you go over and I don't know if you ever look at those things on the right where they've
Sure.
got little videos and different things,
Yeah.
but
Sure do.
they're always there, and they do a good job of explaining it. Um, so yeah, and I mean, Cool Quest, they're doing it which is what I appreciate. I
Right.
like just growing.
Right.
And as for Sandy, yeah, I mean, you can make money off this. Let me tell you how much. I will tell you exactly how much I have made. I've been about a year and a half now. I've been monetized.
Uh-huh.
I got a check for $107.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So
Yeah.
knock it out of the park.
Right.
It's
But the
it's not.
other part of that story is that when you start doing videos, and I know Dan's
Yeah,
one, and I know I'm one, there are going to be companies approach you about trying their products. So you can
yes,
pick up a lot of cool stuff for no money at all. Uh,
yeah.
and so that's part of it. But
So, and that's important also as you start thinking about it to set up what are your values? What are your personal values
right,
as you go into this? Because some companies will say that, we'll send this to you, or they want you to buy it, like we were talking
right,
about earlier.
right,
I
yeah,
don't do that, but if they send it to me, I've had one company that said, and we'll send you the script that we want you to use
yes,
for our
yes,
review. And I don't do that.
right.
If I can't give an honest review, I don't want it.
Well, I agree with you there. If you're going to give me a product, okay, fine, thank you. But we're going to go out. If you say it's rainproof, guess what? We're going in the rain. Okay.
Yep, we're going to test that sucker
We're
out.
going to find out whether it's rainproof. If you said that all I got to do is just rub it and it'll catch on fire, we're going to find out, and but but like you, Dan, I mean, I think I made a bit more than 107, but not much more than that. But if you're thinking that at this size that we are, the 2,500 approaching the 3,000 sub mark or something like that, you may have 9,000, 10,000 watch hours. That's good. That's outstanding. That you're getting there, but you're definitely not Microsoft. So
No, and if that's, but that's not what I'm looking for.
no, no, it really
Um,
isn't.
if I get some monies that I can put back into the channel, because I mean, it honestly can turn into a very expensive hobby.
Mhm.
But I would be doing the hiking anyway.
Right. So why not share it?
So why not
And
share?
I mean, it's like when you were doing your Cherokee Trail videos. That was one of those. That particular type of stuff that had been like one of my bucket list items for since I was a little kid to go see where they would have walked. You know.
Yeah, yeah,
Uh, then I had one channel. I got somebody over here sent got rocks from the parking lot of Custer's Battlefield. You know, and
yeah, yeah,
that was one of those things. That you heard all the movie hype, how they were all surrounded and stuff like that. When you get there, you realize that's not at all what happened here. You know,
yeah,
none of that was in a big circle. It was a boom, boom, shove back,
yeah,
shove back, shove back, until there wasn't nobody left to be shoved back. You know, so
yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
So, but it's and then you get people. Let's say they may be in nothing more than say Dutch oven cooking, and they
yeah,
might see one of your videos where you cooked a pot roast and potatoes over open fire, and that's something that fires their imagination and their soul. They want to get out there and they want to try that.
yeah, yeah.
So
Yep. That's yep, exactly right. That's
yeah,
and then I mean, well, I'll ask you a question. You do a lot of craft, you do a lot of maintenance and work
sure.
and stuff. Have you ever changed the springs out on an attic staircase? The old.
No, I have not. I've had one come down and plug me a couple times.
Well, we just in Connie's room that's next door to here. There's an
Uh-huh.
attic staircase that goes up into the attic here
Gotcha.
in this
Yeah.
house, and she she didn't like the door, the cover, so she wanted me to replace it. So this week, that was my job. In fact, I just finished putting the trim on before this video,
Uh-huh.
and I took the door and unscrewed it from the stair, that
Sure.
extends down, pull down.
Yeah.
And when I did that, those springs sprung, and they,
Gotcha.
they come flying at me. I put my hands up; it was going to hit me in the head,
Yeah.
bounced off. And then I was in trouble because I'm trying to figure out how in the world. And so I replaced the door, put it all together, and had Connie come out and had her pushing up the door so I could try to put the springs back on.
Gotcha.
And I couldn't do it. I mean,
Yeah.
I couldn't pull
All
that
right.
string.
Here's one for you. Okay, you'll get a chuckle out of this. It's been some months now, but I was out in the backyard and I noticed the back door had opened up, but the storm door was still open, and I could just barely see the corner of my wife's face, and she was doing this. I'm like, "Hey, how are you?" And she kept doing that, and finally I got closer. She said, "What is it that I gotta do to get you to come?" She's sitting there holding the cabinets, the kitchen cabinets had let loose off the wall on one side, and she was
Oh,
holding
buddy.
them up by one hand.
Oh, no.
All that weight, and then at the same time trying to keep the cats from escaping out the door. And I get in there and I'm like, "Oh, I didn't know." She said, "Well, how many times do you see people hanging out the door going?" Yeah,
She's got a point.
Yeah, but yeah, I mean, it's
We're just
crazy.
thick.
Yeah, it's crazy stuff can happen, and I'll tell you what, you can. There are things that happen. You can get hurt,
Yes.
and
But
I
I
think it's
went on YouTube
uh-huh.
and I searched for how do you reinstall these things and found a crazy video
Mhm.
where I could take and unbolt the
Bracket things,
the the
the ramp.
supports that come
Yeah.
down
Uh-huh.
on the sides, unbolt them, pull it out, and then I could climb up in the ceiling and put the spring on it, and then I could pull it back down and put it on the bolt. And then I've got mechanical advantage. I got the leverage
Sure.
to put it back in place. But hey,
You know what? I
you
think
find stuff.
we have hit on one of the reasons that YouTube really helps because I guarantee you, no matter what we've done, somebody's already had it happen to them.
Yep,
Yeah,
yep.
and and there's somebody out there that has figured out a better way of solving the problem. You know, uh, but I tell you what, in this circumstance, there was no way that we could take the weight out of there without everything falling. Okay,
Oh yeah.
so basically what I did was like I just grabbed the end of it and just yanked as hard as I could and let it come down.
Oh really?
That's all I could do. And I'm like, when it comes, get out of the way.
Oh
Just get
buddy.
out of the way, man. And just bam.
Did you empty the cabinet?
I tried to, but a lot of that stuff, the weight it shifted backwards, and
Oh no.
now it's beyond our physical reach to
Yeah.
get the stuff out. Nor can one person handle that weight to hold it back up. It was just one of those things.
Oh, your wife did?
Yeah,
She's superwoman.
she was holding it up, and I'm like, okay. Which, if you could see how the cabinets are, for her to have opened the door and to have just a piece of herself sticking out the door, waving, and then with her foot trying to keep the cats from going out, you know. And like I said, here I am, just like, you know, hey, how are
I'm
you? Why
impressed.
you? Yeah, hey,
I bet she was happy with
yeah,
you.
yeah. But I mean, things like that, happen. I can, when I was a kid, I don't know, 15, no, 10 years old, 11 years old, we were riding a bike down the street, and we saw a big one. You remember the old Woody station wagons that had like looked
Oh
like
yeah,
vinyl siding on it? Well,
yeah.
the wheel was off of one, okay, and the guy was underneath it working on it. All of a sudden, we heard a commotion and we looked down the street, and the lady came running out of the house and was like, her husband, the jack had collapsed and the car was on top of him, and
Oh,
we're like, oh wow, like, is this really happening? And she's running crazy around. And this is in the era before cell phones. This is 1971ish, 2ish, time
goodness.
frame and stuff like that. There was no professional firefighting service here. It was a volunteer fire department. Okay, so the call went out from somebody. You heard the alarm go off.
Uh,
3 or 4 minutes later, everybody got to the station, came out with the fire truck. But you think about the amount of time that went through,
yeah.
and the guy made it. But I mean, here
Oh,
was
that's scary.
you know, several tons of Woody station wagon, sitting right down on his chest. And
Oh my goodness.
what they had asked us to do, they were like, some of the neighboring men said, "You boys come over here," and we were holding on to the one end of the station wagon that he was at, holding it up, trying to put pressure upward
Yeah,
on it,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
and I can still remember one of the kids that I was riding with. I'm not getting involved. I'm not going over there. And I said, "Oh yeah, I'm going. Yeah, we're going." And
Yeah.
finally he came over there, and all like six of us were holding on to this thing, and it's but I think that was the very first time in my life I realized just how unpredictable things can happen. You know.
Yeah, yeah. It's it's um it's amazing. Life is tenuous at
It
best.
is. It is. Yeah. But
Yeah, there
well,
was
it's been.
a friend of mine. He was an older gentleman, Yeah, I had left home by then, but he's driving down the road and the truck in front of him hits a manhole cover and flips the manhole cover out of the street,
Right.
comes flying through and goes through the windshield and took him out.
Yeah.
You know,
You
it's
know what?
just
Those when I retired from the post, spent 8 years with the local police department here, in the Hampton, Newport News, Virginia area, and call came in one morning of a manhole cover that had come dislodged. You know, so they
yeah,
called me and said respond. I get there and I had the lights on the police vehicle, and I'm like, all right, I see the hole in the ground, but where's the thing? There
where's
was two cars that had drifted off to the side there and was up in the grass of a church, you know, and he came over there and he goes, I don't even believe this. Well, that manhole cover went up in the front of his engine into the engine
oh my
compartment
goodness.
and was jammed between the engine and the hood. In the process of doing that, it ripped out part of the front wheel assemblies and both wheels pancaked out, which brought his vehicle to almost a complete dead stop instantaneously. And then another car creamed him from the rear, you know. And here I'm on the radio trying to describe to 911 what I'm seeing, and they're like, "Can you please say that again?" Okay.
Yeah, yeah, we have a lot in common.
Yeah.
I was a police officer in a little town called Newton, Kansas, for
Oh,
five
okay.
years.
Okay.
Here and it's about 3 hours drive from here where we live now. But Newton, you know, the way it's set up, and this is Kansas, so anytime there was a storm, there was always a tornado warning. So
Sure.
we were dispatched on around the perimeter of this little town. All the
Looking for the
cops. We went
storm.
out to different
Yeah.
roads and for a tornado watch, and so we I'm sitting south of town, and dispatch comes on. My badge number was 46, and then
Mm-hmm.
dispatch comes on and says, 46, do you see anything? I said, I can't see my windshield wipers. It's raining so hard.
Uh-huh.
No, I don't see anything.
Uh-huh.
And they say, well, we have a report of a funnel cloud, right in your area. Do you see anything? And I'm looking, and sure, I mean, it was raining so hard you couldn't see nothing.
Sure. Yeah.
Finally, I said, just a minute, let me check. I roll down the window. I look up, and I look into the belly of this funnel
I
cloud.
don't doubt that, man.
It was
Yeah.
right over my head.
Right.
And
Uh-huh.
so that
Yeah.
was
Yeah.
that's to serve and protect, I guess.
That's yeah. I think one of the crazier things I ever saw. It was like 5:45 a.m. It's still dark. Okay, and we're on one of the big roads, but the traffic wasn't really all that heavy. All right. Well, somebody stopped and said, "Can I ask you a question?" Sure. What do you want to know? I cannot find the 400 block of Smith Street. And I said, just go down here. And well, at that moment, out maybe three-quarters of a mile, there was a series of explosions down the road. Just boom, boom, boom,
Oh
boom,
my.
boom, boom. And I'm like, I have no idea what that was. I really don't know, and the driver went away. So I go on down the road there. What had happened is a dump truck had been up in the 7-Eleven. And when she came out of 7-Eleven, she hit that bar in the cab that caused the bed of the dump truck to go straight up. And as she was going down that major road, she was scooping out power poles. Bum, 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 bum.
Oh man.
And there was a half a mile of twisted, broken poles with all the wires, all over the place. And again, you think as the person on the radio, how do you describe that?
Yeah.
And the communication says, "What assets are you requesting?" I said, "Everything you have."
Yep, we need it all.
Bring
We need it all. Oh my.
Yeah.
Well, brother, it is time to
It
probably land
is.
the airplane.
Yeah. It has been a
But
lot of fun. Yeah.
it has. I really appreciate you. Appreciate your insights and how that you're just I know that you and I both sort of we subscribe to each other's channels pretty
Yeah.
early.
Yeah,
And
yeah. Sure. As a matter of fact, I'm wanting to say you were probably sticker number 5 or 6 up on the wall over there.
I think so. I mean, I
Yeah.
think so.
Yeah.
Yeah, and same with you. You were early on, and so it's just
Yeah.
exciting to see and to go along with you. So
Uh-huh.
yeah.
Yeah. Well,
All righty.
all right, everybody. It has been a pleasure, and if you're in the mood for some Facebook action and meeting some new friends over that way, Dave Collier Camping. Glad to have you,
Yep.
and
And it's a welcoming place. It's just really good.
it
So
really is. Yeah, it's
yeah,
like I said, if you got your travel video up, your camping video up, you don't need to contact me to share it. Just put it up there, and you'll probably get about 80 people jump on it right away and say, "Oh, where was that at? It was so cool. That's so
yep,
pretty."
yep, yep.
So you know, yeah.
That's
All
great.
right, Tony. All right, Dan. I mean,
Thanks,
all right,
Dave.
all right,
Appreciate you.
all
And
right. Take care,
everybody, you know,
Tony.
you all
Back.
stay safe, stay healthy, stay on the path, and God bless you all. Thanks for coming in.
All right,
Thank
take
you,
care.
David.
All right, bye bye.
All right. Bye.